So you're a leader and you're actually good at your job. The strategy, the planning, the execution, all that makes sense. But you get to the people part of your role, and it's that feeling you get right before the networking event. You have an important Zoom or phone call, and you keep rehearsing the conversation over and over again in your head. That voice that's whispering to you that you're faking your confidence and you feel like you should have it all together. And at any moment, somebody's going to figure it out. Listen, I think we've been sold this myth that the charismatic leader looks like the person who doesn't mind having the loudest voice in the room. They're the larger than life person that everybody loves. But if that's not your natural style, it's no wonder you feel a little awkward. It's no wonder that you feel out of place. It's easy for you to start believing that your social awkwardness is a flaw. And at any moment, somebody's going to figure it out. But we've been sold a myth about what the charismatic leader looks like. It's that larger than life person that everybody loves. And, they don't mind being the loudest voice in the room. But what if that's not your style? What if your quiet, reserved nature is actually not a flaw? This isn't about how to fake being an extrovert. This is about you leading just as you are. And we're going to do that by using repeatable actions that build real, earned confidence in real time.
This is We Have a Problem podcast. I'm Charles Hall, and this is Diamond Hall. This podcast was built for leadership conversations and problem solving. We're so grateful that you are here today for tuning in. To that end, and with your permission, let's begin and let's build.
So, there are a lot of leaders out there who are dealing with social awkwardness. There are some who prefer to work alone and they're really great at their jobs. And on the other hand, there are some leaders who you don't want to be seen as a loner. You
Mm-hmm.
you actually want to grow in your social skills and you want to overcome even what some of us would call imposter syndrome in social settings. Um, we're gonna walk through that today, and I'm really excited about it again because this is something that is something that I've had to deal with for quite some time. And there are some things that I've had to learn, that make you comfortable in uncomfortable settings.
So, when you say that there are some things that you've had to learn,
Hmm.
let's talk through it. What does that look like?
There's quite a bit. I've done everything from, give presentations with lipstick on my teeth, from my hand shaking. It happens actually more on one-on-ones than
Yeah.
it does from the stage. I'm actually very comfortable in giving more of a presentation or speaking to many. It's the one-on-ones that makes me uncomfortable. So there's things like, keeping a conversation going or getting the conversation started.
Yeah.
So I have to have questions prepared before I go in
I like that.
that helps me focus more on the person and not on myself.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's a big one. Learning some information as far as who's in the room. I need to do homework.
So, wait. So, when you do homework and you ask more questions and you're interested in an individual and not yourself, do you notice that you don't have to talk as
You don't
much?
have to talk as much because they love talking about them. Absolutely. They love talking about either what they're working on, their family. They love talking about what they've done. Yeah, it becomes a lot easier.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Learning where to stand in the room, I've had some help with that one. Someone told me once if like you don't want to stand by the door. You actually want to be somewhere like not necessarily in front of the food because if they're everybody's trying to get something to eat, they're really just focusing on getting their food. They're not really trying to have the conversation right then and there. I've heard someone who's credible say you should stand right in front of like the punch bowl or where there's drinks, not necessarily in front of the food, but drinks because drinks are at the end of the line. And as soon as they turn around, they're looking for where to go next in the room, and you could be that that savior or that next point of communication for them.
That's really creative.
Yeah. The other cool part, which I want to eventually adopt, is never go to one of those social events alone. So if you're going with a partner, like let's say you and I were going into a room, uh, you're not gonna get a chance to speak to everyone you want to, right? So you can go in and you can have your target, I have my
Wow.
target, and then we come back. Yeah.
That
And
is super cool.
and then in those awkward moments we can find each other and just kind of bounce off of each other. Yeah.
I really like that.
Because introverts, we need our downtime to go recharge, and constant new communication with new people is could be overstimulating.
That's really, really brilliant. I like that. So babe, are you telling me if you are dealing with the imposter syndrome,
Mhm.
is over preparing a technique or a tool so that you can be ready in the moment?
Absolutely. Absolutely. If you over prepare, you have more freedom in your speech.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like for me, so my social awkwardness would show up where I can say the wrong thing or it'll land this a certain way that I don't intend for it to. Um, so the more prepared I am on my subject or information or the individual, if I have prepared questions, then again, I don't need to talk as much. I can ask those questions and kind of just let them take it. And whatever they ask me, I need to have kind of already a calculated response for it.
Yeah, I heard someone say that they do deal with, social awkwardness and the imposter syndrome. And he says he just leans into it.
Yeah.
He said he embraces it. He doesn't deny it anymore. But what he's noticed is him over preparing, he's able to produce, and like you said, he can flow more because he can just pull from everything that he has studied, everything that he's prepared with
Yeah.
to present.
Absolutely. I think an important part of that too is something that you would bring up to me. It's not so much the questions or what you have to talk about when you're on stage or you're presenting to a large audience. It's those one-on-one questions that are going to throw you off, that people might ask, that you need to have already answer for. So there could be times, or there may be times where those uncomfortable questions come up.
I've I've learned, and I try to live by I am enough,
Mhm.
uh, because in moments when things feel awkward, I don't try to pull from the perception that I have to get approval or prove something.
Mhm.
I'm trying to pull from, like, I'm enough, and what I've studied and what I'm bringing to the table will create solutions.
Mm.
It will create, some solace. And I have to be sober minded and sensible in telling myself I am enough.
Yeah.
So when God gave Moses instructions to speak or to lead,
Mhm.
Moses' response was, well, I'm not good with words.
Mm.
I'm not good in these moments. So God, who's the creator, knew that Moses
Had a
had a heart,
stutter.
had a stutter. So sometimes you have to stutter step.
That hits me hard because you can find a lot of reasons not to show up or not to attend the networking event or the team outing. Um, but I think just honing in on that I'm enough is enough to get you through. And a lot of times, what I've learned is that confidence, just having that confidence, even though if it's you dealing with imposter syndrome to some degree, just having that appearance of confidence can get you through.
Yeah.
It'll get you all the way through. And unfortunately, the world will reward the image of confidence and not really look too much at other people's substance until later time. But if you just have that I'm enough, it'll get you through.
I really love that.
Yeah. So that hits me. I love that story. Look, I hope this conversation has been helpful for you. If you will, leave us some comments and let us know What are you dealing with as far as being an introvert, or if you feel like you're socially awkward, such as I? We love to hear from you. And if you will, if you found any content that connects with you, hit like or subscribe. It is super helpful for the channel. We will see you on the next one.